Welcome to our GEO guide, part 9, What Not to Do. I mean, just imagine spending like $10,000 completely redesigning your website.
Oh, man.
Right. You add hundreds of pages of this beautifully formatted content, and then you wake up on a Tuesday and find your search traffic has just plummeted to absolute zero.
Which is an absolute nightmare.
It is. And you haven't just lost rank, you know? The new AI-driven search engines are completely ignoring you.
Yeah, they just pretend you don't exist.
Exactly. So today, we are looking at a really brilliant essay by Jörg-Owe to uncover exactly why that happens. Our mission for this deep dive is to explore the catastrophic mistakes that just, well, completely destroy a website's visibility and trust in the era of generative engine optimization.
Right, and Schneepat outlines this really fascinating underlying thesis throughout his essay. Basically, he says that bad GEO is usually just bad SEO wearing a new mask.
Just the same old tricks, huh?
Exactly. Like, whenever a paradigm shift happens in search, the immediate instinct for a lot of website owners is to just, find a shortcut.
Yeah, people love a shortcut.
They do. They look for ways to game the system, using tactics that honestly ultimately make their pages less useful, less accurate, and just way less human.
Right.
But as generative AI engines become so vastly superior at evaluating and synthesizing content, those shortcuts become fatal traps.
Which means we really need to look at the most tempting shortcut of all right now, which is the illusion of scale.
Oh, yeah. The scale trap.
Because the moment AI rating tools became accessible, the immediate reaction was just to, well, generate a massive volume of content.
Just flood the zone.
Exactly. A website owner might think they can conquer their niche simply by using AI to churn out like 100 pages overnight, or, even easier, just asking an AI to rewrite whatever the top competitor is already publishing.
And that illusion of scale is really mistake number one in Schneepat's book. I mean, he is very clear that while AI tools are phenomenal for formatting, generating outlines, or cleaning up drafts, they must never, ever replace human responsibility.
Right, because if you just let the machine run on autopilot,
you end up with garbage. When a publisher uses AI to mass-produce weak content, they get pages that are generic, factually uncertain, and just totally devoid of real insight.
It's like watering down the soup, basically.
Exactly. And mathematically speaking, a generative search system has zero incentive to cite that kind of watered-down content.
Well, let me push back on that for you, the listener, though. Because if a competitor is ranking #1, the AI clearly likes what they are doing, right?
It likes the original.
So why shouldn't I use their successful page as an exact template and just have an AI rewrite it? I mean, It seems like a really logical, low-risk strategy.
It seems logical until you understand this mechanism called information gain, which is how these AI systems actually evaluate sources now.
Okay, information gain. Break that down.
So think of a generative AI engine, less like a simple filing cabinet, and more like a rigorous academic researcher writing a really comprehensive thesis.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Right. If that researcher reads 50 papers that all draw the exact same conclusion using the exact same data, they aren't going to cite all 50 of them.
No, that would be completely redundant.
Exactly. They will summarize the consensus and perhaps cite the original, most authoritative source. So to get cited by that researcher, your paper needs to offer a completely new data point.
Ah, I see. So by copying the competitor, you are just handing that researcher the 51st copy of the exact same paper.
You hit the nail on the head. You're giving the AI the exact same information it already possesses.
Meaning it can safely just, summarize the consensus without ever needing to point a user to your specific website.
Precisely why Schneepat strictly advises against these copycat strategies. To survive, you really have to ask, what is missing from the existing results?
So what does he recommend adding instead of just copy?
Well, Schneepat provides a great checklist for creating that information gain. He says you need to be adding original examples, incorporating case studies, and bringing in your own company's real-world data.
Real-world data that the AI definitely doesn't have yet.
Right. And if competitors are vague about something, you provide a really clear operational definition. You introduce local or industry-specific context.
You're basically building a page that is useful in a fundamentally different way than the competing pages.
Exactly. You have to stand out.
That makes the failure of sheer volume very clear, honestly. Both mass-producing AI fluff and copying competitors are just, attempts to substitute volume for actual semantic value.
Yeah, just trying to trick the machine with quantity.
Right. And if the AI is looking for unique value, we naturally have to look at the older legacy text tricks that writers use to try and fake that value. Like, let's talk about keyword stuffing.
Oh, keyword stuffing. Schnepat tackles this with a highly specific and honestly very relatable example. He talks about the emergency plumber in Flensburg.
The emergency plumber in Flensburg,
Yeah.
right?
Under legacy SEO mindsets, a business owner would think they need to repeat that exact phrase, emergency plumber in Flensburg, in every single paragraph to signal relevance to the search engine.
Right? Just jamming it in wherever it fits. But wait, if the AI is trying to answer a user's query for an emergency plumber in Flensburg, doesn't seeing that exact matching phrase over and over signal a highly relevant match?
You would think so, but no.
Why does Schneepack consider that entirely useless now?
Because modern search engines just no longer rely on that simplistic string matching. They operate using what we call semantic vector spaces.
Semantic vector spaces. Okay, that sounds intense.
It sounds super technical, but think of it as a massive, multidimensional map of human language and concepts.
Okay, a map.
Yeah. The AI understands the word emergency, the phrase burst pipe, rapid response, and water damage all live in the exact same neighborhood on that map.
Oh, wow.
And it also maps Flensburg geographically.
Yeah.
It understands the entity of the business and the actual intent of the user.
So repeating the same exact phrase doesn't actually move you closer to the center of that map.
No, it doesn't. It just makes the text brittle and completely unreadable for an actual human.
You aren't teaching the AI anything new by repeating the phrase.
Right. According to Schneepat, the focus has to totally shift to user intent.
So instead of chanting emergency plumber over and over like a robot,
You explain the specific neighborhoods you serve, you detail your realistic response time, you provide immediate actionable advice on how the customer can, say, shut off their main water valve before they even pick up the phone.
I see. You fulfill the intent behind the keyword.
Exactly. And fulfilling intent is also where Schneepat really tears into the dreaded FAQ spam.
Oh man, FAQ spam is the worst.
It's everywhere. We have all seen those disastrous footers at the bottom of a page. You know the ones.
Oh, like what is the best SEO agency Berlin? Why is our SEO agency Berlin the best?
Yes, exactly that. People confuse artificial keyword expansion with providing actual useful answers.
It's an attempt to cast a wider net for search queries, but it just ends up catching nothing because the answers are entirely hollow.
Completely hollow. Schneepat contrasts that keyword-stuffed nightmare with guidelines for a truly useful FAQ section.
And what does a useful one look like?
A strong FAQ anticipates practical friction. So instead of self-promotion, a real FAQ asks something like, how long does an SEO audit take?
Yeah.
Or what exact deliverables do I receive after the audit?
Those address the actual uncertainties a human user faces when trying to make a purchasing decision?
Precisely. The AI recognizes that utility because the answers provide concrete data rather than just circular keyword repetition.
Now, if you're listening to this and looking at your own massive About Us page right now, you might be wondering, and I'm asking this on your behalf, where is the line between useful depth and just empty length?
That's a really common struggle.
Because if we follow Schneepat's advice to be completely comprehensive and answer all user intents, the page is naturally going to get very long, right?
It will definitely grow, yeah.
So how does an AI distinguish between a thoroughly researched, comprehensive guide and a page that is just artificially bloated?
Schneepat addresses this distinction really directly. He warns that we must never ever confuse length with quality. The mechanism the AI uses to distinguish the two comes down to substance and information density. Useful depth involves adding verifiable proof, distinct decision criteria, and clear step-by-step process explanations.
It is information that actively reduces a user's uncertainty.
Yes. While empty length is just padding the word count.
Like writing a 500-word generic introduction about the history of plumbing.
Yes.
Before finally giving the user the phone number to call. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that, and the AI knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Editing for usefulness is the priority here.
Yeah.
If a sentence doesn't serve the human reader's goal, it honestly doesn't serve your GEO strategy either.
Okay, so let's assume a website owner takes all of this to heart, right? The text is perfectly optimized for humans. It has high information gain, and there is absolutely no keyword padding anywhere.
They've done everything right on the tech side.
They have created a masterpiece. But what happens if the generative AI engine literally cannot see or verify the information because of how the site is actually built? Because this moves us from text-based mistakes to technical blind spots.
And this is a massive critical failure point in GEO. Schneppet points out that beautifully designed websites often lock their most valuable information inside formats that lack HTML text support.
Because generative AI models are fundamentally text processing engines, right?
Exactly. They need to parse language to synthesize answers.
It's kind of like a high-end restaurant where the entire menu is just a single JPEG image uploaded to the site.
Oh, that happens all the time.
The human eye sees a beautiful list of dishes, but the AI just sees a blank box labeled image.jpg.
Exactly. Or think of an industrial manufacturer that hides their entire technical specification methodology inside a downloadable PDF brochure, but without any accompanying web text.
So the AI is just locked out.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
If the generative system cannot easily parse and interpret the data inside those files, it simply cannot summarize them.
And if it cannot summarize them, it just will not recommend the business as a source.
Right. And Schneppet's solution isn't to abandon images or PDFs entirely. I mean, they serve human users really well.
Sure, they look great.
But you must build a text bridge for the AI. You have to write the crucial explanations in HTML text right alongside the image. You use descriptive alt text.
Right.
You provide detailed HTML summaries for your PDFs and full text transcripts for any video content.
So you are essentially just making sure the AI can read what you are showing to humans.
Exactly.
But Schneppet also highlights a much more insidious technical mistake, which is trying to tell the AI something that isn't actually there through fake structured data.
Oh, man. We really need to define structured data clearly here because Schneppet's warning on this is absolute.
Okay, let's break it down. What is structured data?
Structured data is essentially a standardized translation layer built directly into your website's code. It spoon-feeds context directly to the search engine.
Okay.
It says things like, this specific number is a price, or this text is a recipe cooking time, or these 5 stars are a customer review.
But the temptation for the shortcut seekers is to manipulate that translation layer.
Always.
They might add code indicating a 5-star product rating, even though there are absolutely 0 actual user reviews visible on the page.
Yeah, just completely making it up.
Or they mark an item as in stock in the code, knowing full well the warehouse is empty, just to keep their search visibility high.
And Schneppet emphasizes that structured data is a clarity tool, not a magic ranking tool. It must perfectly reflect reality.
You can't just lie to the AI.
No, because generative search systems are incredibly thorough. They cross-reference multiple data points constantly.
Wow.
So if the AI detects a mismatch between the structured data code and the visible text on the page, or between your code and third-party verification sources, it registers as deception.
It's totally like using a fake ID to get into a highly secure facility.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
You might think you found a clever technical workaround, but the AI is basically a bouncer equipped with real-time background check software.
Yeah, they see right through it.
The moment it scans your fake structured data and realizes the 5-star reviews don't actually exist anywhere else on the web, your trust score just plummets. You are flagged as a manipulative source.
And the penalty for looking manipulative in a trust-based system is severe. I mean, it's really hard to recover from.
Definitely.
But, an equally severe technical mistake is accidentally locking the AI out entirely through crawler blocking.
Oh, like by accident.
Yeah, website owners often make simple copy-paste errors with their technical files.
Let's break down exactly how that happens, because it honestly sounds like a catastrophic, unforced error.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
So search engine bots allocate a specific crawl budget to explore the web. They rely on standard directives to know where they are allowed to go.
Right.
A robots.txt file is essentially a do not enter sign hanging on your website's front door.
Okay.
An annoying index directive is like a post-it note attached to a specific file saying, you can look at this, but do not put it in the public filing cabinet.
Got it. So how do people mess that up?
Schneppet points out that site owners often migrate a new website design from a private testing server, and they just accidentally leave the global robots.txt block in place.
Oh no, so they just block everything.
Everything. Or they use an overzealous security plugin that treats search engine bots like hostile traffic and just blocks them at the firewall.
Wow. So if the bots cannot crawl and index the pages, the site literally does not exist in the generative search landscape.
It's invisible.
The AI cannot summarize what it is forbidden from seeing, so I guess it requires regular technical audits just to ensure the path is clear.
Regular audits are essential, but once the technical path is clear and you are no longer hiding from the AI, the final challenge Schneppet poses is how you step into the light.
Okay, stepping into the light.
Yeah, how do you actively prove to both the AI engine and the human user that you are the most valuable, ultimate source on the internet.
This feels like it requires a massive shift in how companies just talk about themselves online.
It really does.
Schneppat's mandate is to eliminate unsupported claims. Like, a business can no longer just declare, we are the leading provider of software solutions, and expect the AI to just take their word for it.
Right. Those broad marketing statements are just treated as noise now.
Just background noise.
The AI requires verification. You have to show rather than tell.
So how do you show it?
Schnepat advises using rigorous case studies, concrete data sets, and a highly transparent methodology to prove every single claim you make.
So a supported claim becomes a citable fact for the generative AI.
Exactly.
And an unsupported claim is just ignored.
Ignored completely. And this extends deeply into what Schnepat calls trust visibility. You cannot hide the humans behind the content.
Right, because if an AI is tasked with determining which medical or financial article is the safest to summarize for a user, it's going to look for accountability.
It has to.
It needs to know who actually wrote it.
Accountability is paramount. Schnepat insists on a comprehensive about page, a clear contact page, and highly visible author credentials on important content.
Makes sense.
The generative system evaluates the entity producing the information. If it cannot find qualifications, history, or even a way to contact the publisher, the trust signal collapses.
And trust isn't a static achievement either. I know Schnepat has a very strict rule regarding the freshness of information, which seems to be a really common trap.
Oh, it is a huge trap.
Because a lot of publishers think they can maintain their authority just by updating the timestamp on a blog post. So it says updated for 2026 without them changing a single word of the actual text.
Yeah, changing the date is just a cosmetic trick. Generative engines evaluate the actual extraction of facts.
They read the text, they don't just look at the date.
Exactly. Schnepat states that you must update the reality of the page. You have to review product availability, repair broken internal links, and add new industry context that has emerged since the original publication.
You actually have to do the work.
You have to do the work
Yep.
and actively remove claims that are no longer true. Outdated content destroys a site's reliability score.
Now we arrive at a concept from Schneppat's essay that honestly fundamentally changes how we view web design entirely.
This is the big one.
Even if a site is perfectly updated, perfectly trustworthy, and highly visible, Schneppat warns, do not remove the reason to click.
This is the strategic core of navigating GEO.
Because what does that actually mean?
Well, a generative AI engine's primary function is to provide a highly accurate, synthesized summary of information directly on the search results page.
Right, without making you leave Google or wherever.
Exactly. So if a website only contains basic informational text that the AI can perfectly summarize in 3 sentences, the user gets their answer immediately.
And they just close the tab.
Yeah, they have absolutely no incentive to click through to the actual website.
So think about a page you manage or a site you visit frequently. If the AI perfectly summarizes the text on that page, why would someone actually take the extra step to visit the domain?
That's the million-dollar question.
What is your actual reason to click? Because if you don't have an answer to that, the site becomes obsolete the moment the AI understands it.
To survive and thrive here, Schnepat argues you must offer deeper functional value, something that AI just cannot replicate in a text summary.
Like what?
This means building interactive calculators, offering downloadable templates, integrating direct booking calendars, or, fostering a vibrant community forum.
Real interactive tools.
Yes, or providing immediate access to human customer support. The AI can summarize the rules of a mortgage, right? But the user still needs to click your site to use your proprietary mortgage calculator.
I see. So the AI provides static synthesis, but your website must provide dynamic utility.
Beautifully said, yes.
And that dynamic utility has to actually lead somewhere, because Schnepppat emphasizes that GEO visibility is pretty pointless if it doesn't align with conversion intent.
As to drive business.
Exactly. A page shouldn't just inform a user and leave them stranded. The information must connect to a logical next step, like booking a consultation, purchasing a product, or downloading a detailed guide.
GEO is an ongoing loop of maintenance, refinement, and conversion optimization.
It never stops.
It doesn't. Search behaviors evolve, the AI models constantly update their evaluation criteria, and competitors will eventually adapt to the new standards, too. It is not just a one-time technical checklist.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today regarding what not to do.
So much ground.
To tie it all together, Jörg-Owe provides a really definitive practical lesson in section 9.16 of his essay. He states that website owners must not use generative engine optimization as an excuse to figure out how to produce more weak content.
Right. Don't just make more garbage.
Exactly. Instead, GEO should be used as the ultimate reason to actually improve the quality, clarity, and trustworthiness of your website.
Quality over quantity.
The winners in this new era of search won't be the domains with the highest volume of pages. They will be the ones who provide the absolute best, most verifiable source material.
You know, analyzing Schneppat's framework leaves us with a really profound realization about the future of the web.
Oh, what's that?
Well, if generative AI inevitably takes over the job of summarizing all the basic factual information across the internet,
Which it is doing right now.
right, then the true, undeniable value of a website will no longer be its ability to just hoard facts.
Wow, yeah.
The value will exist entirely in its unique human experiences, its specialized interactive tools, and the verifiable, accountable trust it builds with its audience.
That is a fascinating thought. The more the machines excel at summarizing the basics, the more we have to lean into the complex dynamic experiences that machines simply cannot replicate. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into what not to do in generative engine optimization. Thank you for joining us as we explored Jörg-Owe incredible insights. Be sure to visit the website blue3woe.com for more resources, and we will see you next time as we dive into Chapter 10, How to Measure GEO Success. Take care.